Hello, welcome back to HunterTuned. Today I'm going to be messing with some fuel components and playing around with some different decapped injectors and seeing if I can get some more fuel out of this thing so we can turn the boost up a little bit higher to the point where I want to be, which is around 16 pounds or so. So I'm going to get right into it. So I have a issue where the car is running out of fuel at around 7,500 RPM, and it seems to be RPM based. It doesn't seem to be boost related because it seems to run out of fuel at the same RPM every time. So I'm thinking I may have a fuel pressure issue of some sort. I don't know where or why, but I know that this fuel rail and regulator is off of a B18B, like a LS, so the regulator is actually one of the weakest regulators, meaning it flows the least PSI. I think the GSR and B16 ones flow a little bit more volume through the rail. I think the regulator on the B18B is like 38 PSI or something, and the GSR and LS ones are like 48. I want to say I'm not 100% sure, but I think I read somewhere online that it said something like that. And I'm thinking maybe the stock regulator, being the way it is, could be my issue. Also, I wanted to take these injectors out of here and flow them one more time and see exactly what they're flowing. I did a couple other decapped injectors last night, and I've been playing around. And with my tester setup, so my flow injector flow tester here, with this set up on 30 PSI of pressure, these things are flowing 95 pounds an hour, which is 1,000 cc pretty much at 30 psi. So at 50 psi they're bigger, they're way bigger. So if I can get this setup to run like a 50 psi base pressure, I should be good to go another couple pounds of boost up. So that's what I'm trying to shoot for here. I also had a subscriber send me over, he sent them to me a while ago and I never used them, but these are an LS injector out of like a 2010 Camaro, like the newer LS motor, and you can see they're real short and whatnot. I did not know if these could be decapped at all. I flowed at stock and it made like 45 pound per hour flow. So I'm like, screw it, whatever. I got them for free. He wanted me to try them out and play with them. So I decapped it and it flows almost the same exact flow as the flex fuel ones that I already sell on the website. It flows a little bit more, but not much. And I don't know. I might just like flow the most flowing ones and put them into here, even if it's only like, you know, an extra 50 cc or 100 cc's of fuel. I'm going to take every inch I can get here because I don't really want to buy injectors, and I don't really want to have to, you know, go out and buy a set of 2200s or something like that. I want this car to go 10s on a budget injector to show you guys that it can be done. And clearly I would not have these issues if I wasn't running E85, but on pump gas this would go, you know, quite a bit more. But I'm not running pump gas. I don't want to, especially on a B20. But anyways, I'm gonna get to taking this fuel rail off, and I may take it to a machine shop and drill it and tap it for a fuel pressure gauge so I can test the fuel pressure, because I actually went to AutoZone or VatoZone, whatever you guys want to call it, and picked up this fuel pressure tester kit to kind of test the fuel pressure. And there's not really an adapter that'll work because I don't have the stock fuel filter anymore. I just have an AN line running, and you can't really go off of the back side of the return here because that's pretty much just all drained back. It's not actually pressurized. It's pressurized a little bit, but not much. It's not going to be the true fuel rail pressure, which is what I'm looking for here. So like I said, I'm going to pull these injectors out of here and then kind of figure out what these injectors are flowing, and then see if we can find an injector set that flows more than what I currently have. Oh, hello, I'm back in action here. You know, I'm just cruising down the street in my 2.0, cracking the sleeve, needing the tow. Is that how,
you're gonna get product?
Is that how E4, or who sings that, E40 or something?
No, T-Bags Customs.
Oh yeah, T-Bags Customs came up with that. So anyways, we are,
Yeah, it is E40.
Is it E40?
No,
No, it's NWA.
Easy E.
Easy E. Okay, so anyways, we're going to my machine shop buddy, and we're going to see if he can help me out get a fuel pressure gauge onto this stock rail so I can see where my pressure is. And this whole time I haven't been filming. I apologize, but I ended up flowing the injectors that came out of my car, and I'm going to confuse you with a bunch of math quick. So how I test these injectors is I see how much milliliters it flows at 10 seconds. So if I run the injector for 10 seconds wide open and it flows 150 milliliters at 50 psi of base pressure, that came out to a 1244 cc injector. That's the ones that were out of my car. At 50 psi they flowed 1244. That's any flex injector that I sell flows like 1,000 to 1,250. So that's awesome. I'm running out of injector with a 1244 cc injector. These new injectors that I got, they're out of a newer Camaro. They end up flowing 1350. So they're 100 cc bigger injector. So we're going to try those out, and that 100 cc might just be all I need. But in the meantime, I want to see what the fuel pressure is as well, and maybe modify my fuel pressure regulator somehow to be able to get the fuel pressure a little bit higher. Because like I said, they flow 1250 cc at 52 psi, or 50 to 52 psi is where my injector tester rig is set up. So at 50 psi they flow 1240 cc, and at like 30 psi they flow like 900. So I might be running out of injector because I'm only having a 30 to 40 psi fuel pressure. So we're going to try to kill two birds with one stone here, and we're going to put a 100 cc bigger injector in it and try to modify the fuel pressure a little bit as well to get a higher fuel pressure. I don't know. I'll pick back up when we know more. We're going to stop at the machine shop quick, and then we'll pick back up. Alright guys, so I got my fuel rail drilled and tapped, and I put a pressure gauge in it. And this is some ingenuity right here. This is a stock fuel rail, but it now has a fuel pressure gauge. This is a air compressor gauge from Menards, and goes to 200 psi, but it's 1/8 inch pipe thread, not liquid filled, so the needle will probably break, and it'll probably dance around a bunch, but it was $3. So I'm gonna try it out, and if it doesn't work, I'll go get a liquid filled one. But we're gonna try this for now to see how it is. I just tapped and drilled out this bolt hole. So these fuel rails have two bolt holes, one right where my finger is here, and then another one where the pressure gauge is. And I think that's to bolt down like the stock wiring harness or something. So I just drilled out that hole and then plugged in the pressure gauge there. You just got to drill it far enough so it goes down into where the fuel actually is. And yeah, looks dogpile chicken smile. Look at that. Fucking mint. So now I'm trying to figure out how to fit the injectors, because these injectors are really, really short. I had a set of top hats laying here, so I just got these top hats on them to extend them to make them bigger, and they're still too short. So we're just gonna grind down the manifold or something and get them to fit in there. They fit into the grommet nice, but like I said, they're just a little too short. So we're gonna have to figure out some spacing here, and once we figure that out, we'll see how much fuel pressure this thing has. So we got the injectors installed. We had to definitely grind a shitload on the fuel rail and on the intake manifold to get them to sit, because these injectors, I'll show you a size comparison quick. So this is the injector that was in the car, which I already had to grind down the manifold to fit. So then we put these in, which are another 1/2 inch shorter or more. So you can tell there that that was a big difference. I had top hats that extended them up and converted it to like the Honda import style fuel rail O-ring. So that fit. And we got them in there, and they are freaking... You can't even barely see the injectors, dude. Hang on. Let me get a flashlight on this situation here. Look at this. What are those things down in there? Are those injectors? You can't even tell they're injectors. They're just like little stubs.
This is called an injector tuck.
This is an injector tuck. Okay, so we got the old Menards air pressure, fuel pressure gauge there. Works pretty shitty. It does work, I'll give it that. But when the car starts up, according to this gauge, we have 70 psi of fuel pressure. 70 at idle with the vacuum hooked up. So we take the vacuum line off, and it still has 70. So I'm thinking that this fuel pressure regulator is bad, and it's not actually seeing like a boost reference. So when it comes into boost, it's not actually raising fuel pressure like it should be. And that explains a lot, because on the tune on this thing, I don't know if you watched a couple videos ago, but I'm like, it needs more fuel at 7,500 and above. So I added fuel into the map at 7,500 and above, and it didn't do a damn thing. So I'm like, okay, it's out of fuel somewhere. And I'm thinking it's just this damn regulator, and it's not actually boost referencing like it should be. Now, on a normal boosted car like this with stock camshafts and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to taper fuel out of it above like 7,500. Normally, Hondas quit making, power or torque around that area, and it's going to start getting richer up top. And you'll have to pull fuel out of it, at least on a lot of cars with like a stock cam and all that. You'll have to pull fuel out of it on the top end of the map, which this thing has been the exact opposite. So I bet you, if we swap this fuel pressure regulator out and we put bigger injectors in it, we're going to be dogpile chicken smile. So Michael's tightening down my throttle cable now. This was a tight fit for the feed line and the oil pressure line for the VTEC here. That was definitely a tight fit now that the rail sits lower, but that seems all good. None of the injectors are leaking or nothing, so I think we're good to go. But we're going to swap the regulator next, because I have another one here that we're going to try out to see if the fuel pressure changes with vacuum, because currently it does not. So we're going to try that out quick, and then maybe we'll go try out the car.
Yep. Surge was ignition.
No, it's boost. Yeah, they're both correlated with each other. So if it loses boost, it's going to add ignition.
Oh, we blew it up. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, guys, we're back home now, and we were driving the car around for probably an hour or two, and we did like, I don't know how many pulls, probably 30, just wailing on this thing. And everything's good to go, and when we have the duty cycle on the boost controller at 45, the car runs like 11, maybe 12 pounds, right?
10 to 11.
10 to 11 pounds of boost, and no issues. So I said, screw it. We got fuel all the way to the rev limiter. We actually turned the two-step off. Okay, funny story here. I'm gonna back up. Okay, so we were doing pulls on like 10 or 11 pounds, and I'm like, man, this fucker's ripping good. And it was like cutting out at 7,500, and I'm like, we should have another like 800 RPM to go here.
Before that, you asked me, what were the ARs at 8,200? I said, it didn't go that high. You're like, it hit limiter, didn't it? And I said, no. It did shoot a fireball, but they went to 75.
Yeah. Well, we were looking at the data logs, and my speed sensor went to 0. So it kicked the launch control on and kind of acted like a rev limiter. So I'm like, fuck this. I don't even care about the speedo right now. Let's just turn the two-step off, or the launch control, so we can rev it out to 8,200. So we did that, and then we revved it out to 8,200, and everything was good. Car was pulling really hard. It had like an 1120 air fuel, between 1120 and 1150. I was shooting for like a 10.8, 11.0 air fuel ratio, but I think I'm just going to lean it out a little because this thing likes running at like an 1150. It's probably not the best for the bottom end, but we're just shipping it. You know what I mean? So we're just going to send it at 1150 air fuel. It'll give us a little bit more injector to use too, so we can turn the boost up a little higher. And yeah, anyway, so we turned the boost up to 14, right? Was it like 14 or something we turned it up to?
47.
And it made like one clean hit at 14. And then I'm like, all right, go a little more. So we turned it up one more click and made 19 pounds of boost. 19.
That's a light spring.
So we were going down the highway. I told Michael, turn it up, fuck it, just see if this thing holds fuel or not. It blew the tires off in fourth, and it hit the boost cut at 19. So I said, okay, back it down so we can get like 16 pounds, 16, 17 pounds. And he tried backing it down, and it started surging. So I don't know if you heard in the last clip there, the car would come up to like 7,500 RPM, and it would like surge. Like it would come out of power and then come back into it. And you can just feel it, and it would smoke because it was so rich. And then it would start stuttering, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So turned it back down to 11 again, and it's still doing it. So we were like, okay, we must have blew a boost line off or something, like blew a vacuum line off the solenoid or something like that. But all that looks good yet. Nothing's blowing off of there. So I'm thinking it's either in the wastegate, like the diaphragm or something, or it's in the blow-off valve. I think the blow-off valve is actually blowing open because we put the lightest spring in the blow-off valve, and I don't think that the blow-off valve likes to run at 15 pounds of boost with probably 10-pound spring in it, 10-pound rated spring or whatever. So we're gonna throw the stiffer spring in the blow-off valve, and hopefully that helps us out. And yeah, show them how soft that spring is in the blow-off valve. You're literally not even trying.
No, I might even do it.
One finger. So we're going to try that out quick. All right, guys, I forgot to mention, too, the speed sensor issue I was having, I think, is there's like a little plastic white clip inside of the speed sensor that normally is on the harness side, and it was stuck in the speed sensor, so we pulled it out, and now it plugs all the way in because it wasn't plugged all the way in before. So we just fixed that, hopefully. And we're going to go try this thing out one more time quick.
far did your gas needle dip down mid-of-pull?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Because once mine gets under half, dude, it will go to like a quarter and then come back up. And go to a quarter and come back up.
This fucker pulls hard. I'm just used to it now.
Yeah, same.
What?
Same. Get in my car and the wheel hops. I'm like, man, I just want to go.
Good. I think I should stop adding power to this thing though. Well, just make it hook.
You don't even have your slicks on yet.
Like this thing will be fucking fast with like.
You don't even have your traction bar on yet.
No, nothing. No. Well, I bang shifted fourth and it didn't hiccup or nothing, dude. It just fucking went.
Fix that.
Yeah.
You fix that.
Yeah.
I didn't do
just put some gas in the car, and now we're gonna go do one more hit. Why not? Dude, this is the most I've beat on this car yet, dude. Like, we've been out for hours just wailing on this thing.
You used a full tank of gas tonight.
Yeah, we literally did.
Instead of a half tank.
Full tank. All the gas is now in the atmosphere. You're welcome, ozone layer.
That's why we have E85.
Yeah, clean burning.
Bank limiter. That's a quarter mile full right there.
Woo! This fucker eats, dude. Fucking eats.
See, that's the driver mod I always talk about.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. We'll do one more third gear, fuck it. Dude, I can't stop beating on it. I can't stop. My Lanta.
Another one. Approaching city limits, you better slow down, sir.
Yep. I'm not gonna have any brakes on this car in a fucking a day.
I can
smell
smell
'em?
I can smell 'em.
Oh my Lanta.
It's ironic, right after you say that, we both go, oh, I can smell them.
Yep. Alright, who wants to fucking race? Successful night, dude. We have literally burned a full tank of gas, doing nothing but way too much boost and way too much fucking just beating the fuck out of this thing. And if you look in front of the car, it doesn't smoke a lick. Like, the only time it smokes even a little bit is just because it's rich. Because it's still like a 1080 air fuel. I feel like we've changed the tune 100 fucking times already. So I feel like I say, oh, it's an 11.5. Well, the next time we just retuned it again and it goes 1080. No, you know, but whatever. I'm just gonna leave it where it is.
We've tuned it probably, what, 12 times tonight?
A little, yeah, literally. I'm just trying to like get every ounce out of it, you know, safely. I feel like we could go a little bit more boost, but I'm not gonna. It pulls super clean right now. Like, this pulls clean AF. Clean AF.
Air fuel?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta adjust the lighting and wait and wait. Oh, we're back.
So I should probably put my other fender on. I guess this fender doesn't like 140 miles an hour.
That's why it wasn't rubbing at all.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that wide body, bro.
That is sick, dude.
I didn't know you were about stance now.
I know. Yeah, I feel like the car's fast now, so we're gonna make it look good. You know, make it look.
At least you
proper.
got it the right way. You fast and then look good.
Yeah.
Not look good and be super slow.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that. I like a pile of shit that's really fast. Hey, I got my slicks, guys. If you didn't see yet, I don't think I showed anybody.
No, those are mine.
Oh, are they? Yeah. Look at these babies. M&H drag tires. Drag slicks, baby. what's up? It's gonna go on my new wheels whenever Michael's valve stems get here because he bought me valve stems. I don't know why. But, yeah.
Because I bought you gold ones to match your gold wheels rather than you have some stupid little rubber ones in there.
Fair enough.
You gotta make it look good.
Right. Yep. Because it's fast now. So. Yep. I'd really like to go race like 600 horsepower cars.
I'll take your Mustang for a spin.
Well, I know like Jake Spence and all those guys up in Appleton, Nielsen, and like I want to go
I think
race
Nielsen's
those.
more than 6.
Oh, Nielsen makes like 8, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And
want to
he
go
just
race
redid
those
it
guys.
all.
Like I want to race this against the Mustang. Race this against my Mustang.
Let me have a couple practice laps.
With this?
No. With your Mustang.
Well, you got to drive one of them.
Yeah, Mustang's automatic. There's somewhat.
I'll probably let you drive this.
Well, then you smoke me.
Why? Because it spins.
What?
Because it spins.
No, because I can't shift good enough. I'm not saying I'm a good driver. I'm working on it.
It smells like brakes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. I sure didn't. We put the different blow-off valve spring in, and it did help. Obviously, there was no more issues after we fixed that. So, car's on, what, 13 pounds?
Yeah, we fixed frequency too, so we have better resolution.
On the boost by gear shit. Yeah, that's like all that shit on Honda. I'm going to go through in a separate video. So, but anyways, this thing is ripping great. I like it.
Dog pile chicken smile.
It's fucking mint. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you some other day.